Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Got a story here sent to me by a whole lot of people. Irate visitors sue National Park Service over cashless entrance fees. I did a video about this a while ago, and we talked before about how there are businesses out there that will occasionally go, we don't handle cash. You want to pay us to buy something or to get entrance to the facility, you got to use a card of some sort, a debit card, credit card, or something. Gift cards will even work. And the question is that legal? And there are some cities, I believe, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a state or two out there as well, but some cities have said, no, you cannot do this if you're a store that deals with the general public. But the National Park Service, of course, can do whatever they want because it's a federal entity. So Dave Golder wrote this story for adventure.com, and adventure here is spelled without the first E, ADVNTURE, adventure.com. 3 visitors say that the National Park Service's card-only policy at some sites is counter to federal laws. So they're saying it violates federal law. 3 unhappy visitors are suing the NPS over its policy to only accept card payments for entrance to some of its sites. Now, it's not all of their sites. And, here's the thing. Do you know about this before you go in? So there is a national park called Isle Royal out in the middle of Lake Superior. And if you went all the way out there only to find out that you couldn't get on the island without having a card, I can see where that might inconvenience you. So you may have to go back to land, and you'd have to come back the next day. The 3 plaintiffs are from California, New York, and Georgia, claim that the cashless system there is unreasonable and goes against federal laws, stating that legal tender is suitable for all public charges. And so I hope they're not saying that they're going off the language on the money itself, because verbiage on our bills would not be federal law. They might be something created by the Fed, but that doesn't make it federal law. They filed the lawsuit earlier this month with the District Court of Columbia after being told on separate occasions that U.S. currency wouldn't be accepted for entry into Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument, Tonto National Monument, Roosevelt Vanderbilt National Historic Site, and Fort Pulaski National Monument, and Saguaro National Park. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. One of the plaintiffs was denied entrance to the FDR home at Roosevelt Vanderbilt National Historic Site, which she tried to pay with a $10 bill. One of them emailed a national park to ask if she could pay with cash. She was told, we do not have the capability to accept cash. On your way to Arizona, you might be able to stop at a park that does accept cash and purchase an interagency annual pass. Meanwhile, another plaintiff was told by Fort Pulaski to go to the local grocery stores or big chains like Walmart and purchase a gift card because we can't accept them in lieu of cash. According to the lawsuit, the plaintiffs do not ask the court to prohibit them from accepting credit cards or other payments, but simply ask them to restore entrance to the park sites to those who cannot access non-cash payment methods or those who choose not to, by declaring that the cashless only entry is unlawful. They also claim in the lawsuit that the cashless policy is a false economy, as processing charges incurred by electronic payments outweigh considerations such as reducing logistics of handling cash collected, and that additional processing fees that will be borne by NPS and by visitors who ultimately fund the federal government through taxes in addition to personal surcharges and bank fees visitors face may incur under the NPS cashless policy. Okay, which does seem a bit of a stretch, but when you're angry, you've got to let it all out. That's the author of this piece writing. Cash may be fast becoming an outdated form of doing business. In this transition period, it'd still be nice to have the option. Still, the line is to be drawn somewhere, sometime. NPS sites that don't accept cash for entry fees or soon won't also include Mount Rainier, Death Valley, Lassen Volcanic, Rocky Mountain, Badlands, and Wind Cave National Parks, Hovenweep Natural Bridges, Tuzagut, and Montezuma Castle National Monuments, and Cumberland Island National Lakeshore or Seashore are also added to that. And again, I may be mispronouncing some of those I've never heard of. I apologize. According to the NPS, moving to a cashless system allows the park to be better stewards of visitor dollars by reducing the cost of collecting and managing fees, increasing the amount of fee revenue available to support critical projects and visitor services, and improving accountability and reducing risk. And, I'm one of these people where if someone says it's cash only, I can accommodate that, so I don't mind that much. The last time I encountered that was at Comerica Park, which is the home field for the Detroit Tiger baseball team. And I saw a concert there, and the vendors are not equipped to handle cash. They don't handle cash. And so they go, no cash, no cash. So you got to go, okay, fine. And they actually have machines that vend the cards. And you might say, but wait. They won't take cash here, but they put a machine up that'll give you a card for cash. And it seems ironic, but among other things, handling cash at the window of a vendor who's dispensing beer and $19 pretzels and slices of pizza that you got to mortgage your house to buy, it could get messy to introduce cash into that transaction. I think the card swipe is much easier. And so I completely understand that. I got no problem with that. And I can tell you that I do book signings. I do book signings where I go someplace, I sit down, I often give a talk first, and then I sit and sign books, and I often sell the books myself. And I've got an account with Square, which is like PayPal. And I have a little card reader that plugs into my phone. And so when people walk up, I say, by the way, I accept credit cards. I accept plastic. And people go, oh, how, and I've seen a lot of people who are amazed by this, but I take their card and I swipe it and I hand it back to them. And up pops the thing on the screen and I have them sign their name and boom, there you go. And I've actually had other authors tell me and go, Steve, I couldn't do that. I don't want to give up, 2.75% of the transaction to plastic. I want all my money. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But in my mind, I've had a lot of people walk up who didn't have cash on them. So you're going to lose a sale, number one. But number two, it's so much easier when they swipe the card and it just pops up in my bank account shortly thereafter, instead of me handling cash. Now, I also accept checks, which is going the other direction because, as you can imagine, for me to handle a check, I've got to endorse it, take it to the bank. I understand there's other ways of doing it, but I'm making a point here. And so there's a lot more involved. So in the scale of amount of work you do, there's checks, cash, and plastic. And plastic is the easiest for the vendor to handle. So I understand this, but the question I have is there really a federal statute out there that says, all federal agencies must accept cash, or are they simply going off the language on the bills? Because the language on the bill wouldn't be a law, okay? It would just simply be a declaration, if nothing else. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. But there, again, are three plaintiffs from three different states who say they were told, and it makes me wonder if they actually went and visited the sites or simply called. Because calling them, they would tell you. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, a lawsuit's been filed in D.C., in the federal system, because there are irate visitors suing the National Park Service over their cashless entrance fees, and that is you cannot use cash to get in. They will advise you to go get a gift card, if nothing else, and use that to get in. So thank you to everybody who sent it to me, adventure.com, and Dave Golder published that. Questions or comments, put them below. Those. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Small steps motivate, big steps overwhelm.